Let's go. Don't waste your life, man. I know a lot of people that are scared they gon' die. Couple of them thinking they'll be living in the sky. While I'm here living, man, I gotta ask why. What am I here for? I gotta figure out. Waste my life, no, I gotta make it count. If Christ is real, then what am I gonna do about it?
True story. My name is Nathaniel Cordova, 20 years old. I've been in Victory Outreach for about a year and a half. Got saved about a year and a half ago. And you know, my life, I pretty much grew up all around Escondido. Never really went too far, never really did too much. And you know, I was always that kid that my mom never really had much. We jumped around, moved, you know, here and there. And my dad was never really in the picture. Came in and out, you know, every now and then, and just popped in long enough to get my mom mad and get kicked out again for using or something, you know. And started, you know, wanting things and liking things and seeing the things that my friends had, and I wanted them, you know. So even when I was young, I was about 5, the first time I ever went and came up on something, you know. And from then it just kind of progressed, and I just steadily kept stealing and stuff like that. And I got locked up for the first time when I was about like 10 or 11. And from there it kind of just like grew on me, you know. It wasn't really something to be scared of. I started meeting people in there, started, you know, getting out, and I wanted to be more like them, because when I saw them or I heard them talk about the things they had, you know, I started to kind of like want that, you know. And so I started, you know, seeing them on the outs, and I go and kick it with them, and you know, I started using, started smoking weed, started drinking, and then really quickly, by the time I was like 12, I was already, you know, smoking tweak and stuff like that. And from there, I kind of, you know, went out with my mom, and you know, I remember living where we used to live and just having, you know, people come in and out all the time, you know, and just using with my mom, you know, going in the bathroom with her, smoking and stuff like that, you know, and you know, with my friends, and just, you know, like our house wasn't a house, it wasn't a home, you know, and it was just somewhere to go, and I guess just use or whatever, you know. I used to always try to leave my house. I didn't want to be there, you know, but the last time I got locked up, I was about 15. Like, you know, and my mom decided, right, it's time to try to change, try to move away from all that. So we went to Lancaster, and instead of changing, we just got worse, you know. She ended up passing away, you know, about a year later, right before I turned 16, New Year's Eve. With their New Year's Eve revolution was supposed to be that she was gonna quit smoking dope, and New Year's Eve to the T, half hour past New Year's, she passed away. She overdosed, and you know, it's the last time I saw my mom, you know. Remember my stepdad coming home and running into the house, and you know, I woke up right away and I knew something was wrong. He just told me to get my stuff and get in the car and let's go. And I remember the whole drive out there, and you know, just how it felt, man, just crying. I started kicking it with the homies from the hood, and you know, I wasn't really banging at first, but you know, just kind of got caught up in it, got involved in it, and you know, I wanted to, you know, like I said, have what my friends had, and be respected, and have friends, you know what I mean? It actually felt like I had a place that was my own, you know, and I found that when I was with the homies, you know, and so I kind of got more and more involved in that, and you know, started getting locked up and started, you know, trying to show off for them and stuff like that, and you know, I ended up getting involved in some heavier stuff. I ended up catching a year, you know, 6 months, 8 months, a year here and stuff like that. And the last time I ended up doing like about maybe a year and a half, got released when I was about 18, and I was supposed to go to the YA because I just kept messing up, getting into fights and trying to be cool. Pretty much realized I wasn't really going anywhere, you know, and just kind of, you know, told the Lord, you know, I needed some help. And here comes Jonathan and Victor, you know, and I remember that, you know, they just came down the street, handed me a flyer, and they're like, hey, you know, we want to invite you out, all this stuff, and took off. They walked away, and I looked down at the card, and it said Victory Outreach on the top. I was like, all right, you know, maybe there is something to this after all, you know, and you know, I came to the church and started kind of getting in a little bit, went to a couple services. Never really been the type to, you know, do anything half-heartedly, so I was like, Lord, if you're real, and obviously you are, I'm gonna give you everything. And from that moment, you know, my whole heart, everything I had, it's just been going forward for the Lord, you know.
Let's go.
Since then, you know, I've been able to get enrolled in college. You know, I've been moving forward in that. You know, I'm trying to get my, you know, work towards my AA in music and just try to incorporate that into the ministry as much as I can. You know, I'm trying to help out in the youth and make myself available as much as possible, and just keep moving forward towards whatever God, you know, has for me. You know, I know He's got big plans, and I know He's got big goals, and I just want to make myself available and be able to step into them. You know, hoping that God will provide a job for me. You know what I mean? And I'm just, you know, ready for that. And so that way I can get to the UTC, you know, and He's put that in my heart as well, you know, to be able to go there and hopefully be able to be there, you know, the East Coast, you know, UTC by September and stuff. And, you know, if God can do it for me, you know, He can do it for you. True story.
To the world we confess them, resurrect them. So I know I got life. Matter of fact, better man, I know I got Christ.